Okay, yes. So I hope you can see me as well as hear me. So very nice. So welcome to today's class. So good evening all. Yesterday, I hope no, you did not have any test. Did you have test yesterday? So if you had test, you can click on the yes icon. Okay. Did you have any test? Max Avanti test. I'm asking Avanti test. So okay. So Papa man. Okay. So yesterday you had test. So I hope the test was easy. Okay. So anyways, so by now you must have got used to writing test every Sunday. Okay. So anyways, so next Sunday you'll be having gravitation test. Okay. So do not worry. Okay, so every Sunday you'll be having tests. So please get used to that. Okay, so of writing test. It is just for your own practice. That's all. Okay, so that at least you study, once in a week. Okay, so next Sunday, October 11, you have gravitation test. Only one chapter, gravitation test. Okay, so I today want to show you about something. So I do not know about you, but for me, the rocket launch always used to be a scary thing because the first time I saw the rocket launch, okay, the first time when I was a kid, okay, I saw the rocket launch where this famous, okay, this famous person called Kalpana Chawla. Okay, so uh, that rocket launch was my first rocket launch that I saw on TV as a kid. How many of you know about Kalpana Chawla? You can click on the yes icon if you have heard about her or if you know about Kalpana Chawla. Okay, so in this rocket launch of Columbia, okay, so as soon as the rocket was launched within seconds, okay, the rocket exploded and everyone died. Okay, everyone died. That was my first rocket launch that I saw, and it was not a successful one. Okay, so hence for me, every rocket launch, okay, so it's kind of little bit scary. Okay, but after seeing so many rocket launches in the TV by ISRO as well as NASA, as well as other space agencies, okay, so I was fascinated just to know if this rocket which is launched, can it come back? Okay, so can this rocket which is launched come back? Okay, if you think the rocket which is launched can come back, you can click on the yes icon. If you think it cannot come back, sir, how can it come back? It went up, it won't come back, it's gone. Okay, if you think it cannot come back, click on no. If you think the rocket can come back, okay, the launched rocket, okay, can come back, you can click on the yes icon. Okay, because I just want to know your opinion. I hope you understood the question. Okay, the rocket which is launched, will it come back? If you think yes, then click on the yes icon. If you think no, then click on the no icon. Okay, because recently, so things have changed. So we have got some amazing technologies. Okay, and on your screen, you will see one such great technology.
Hello, everybody. Cloud and 5G.
Okay, so very nice. So this was a little bit old video. Okay, so this was a couple of years old, I believe. Okay, but anyways, so now we do have technology, okay, which will help us to bring back our rockets so that we can use them. And the SpaceX has successfully done it on a large scale. Okay, and you can clearly see that it's not easy to land on land. Okay, so but still, the SpaceX is trying to do both on land landings as well as ocean landings. Okay, so just to check if you were watching the video carefully, okay, the SpaceX has planned dash number of ocean landings. Okay, how much portion of the landings they are planning to have in ocean. Okay, I'm talking about ocean. So how many, or how much percentage, or how much, quantity they are planning to have ocean landing. Okay, so please understand ocean landing. Okay, because as you saw, ocean landing takes less fuel. Okay, and oh my God, most of you are telling me wrong answer. Okay, the question is how much of the landings SpaceX is planning to have on ocean. Okay, on ocean. Okay, favorable for ocean landings. So most of you did not, some of you are telling 30%. Okay, some of you are telling 2000, some of you telling 47. Okay, some of you telling 1/3. Okay, so see here carefully. You did not notice the video at all. Okay, so where is it? It is somewhere over here. Okay, so I'll again show you the slide. Watch the subtitles. Okay, so as you can see here, so madam is clearly telling that SpaceX is planning to land only 1/3 of rockets on land. So how much are they planning to do landings in the ocean? Okay, that is 2/3. Okay, so which nobody told. Why? Okay, so you are telling 30%, you are telling 1/3. So you are telling some random figure. Okay, so please watch the videos carefully, understand. That is why I've switched on the subtitles. If you cannot understand what she's telling, the accent, or if she's talking, if madam is talking fast, at least you have eyes. You can read English, okay, which is coming as subtitles. Okay, so at least read the subtitles so that you know what madam is talking about. Okay, so anyways, so that is something that I wanted to show. Okay, and please remember, if a rocket has to launch like this, what should be its speed? What should be its velocity? Okay, the previous class I had told you something called escape velocity. What do you think is the escape velocity of rocket? Who remembers? Okay, if you have to successfully launch a rocket which should overcome the gravitational force of the earth and go to the space, what should be its velocity? Okay, so if you do not remember, then please remember the escape velocity is 11.2 kilometer per second. Okay, the escape velocity is 11.2 kilometer per second. Okay, so if you do not remember, then please remember. So I'll show you the slide. So today we'll be solving few numericals. Okay, so where did I write? I will show you that. Okay, so please see here in white color. So I had written something called 11.2 kilometer per second. So that is the escape velocity. Okay, the rocket should be launched, okay, with this much velocity so that it can overcome the gravity of Earth. Okay, so anyways, so moving on. Okay, so I have a few things which I did not complete in the other class. Okay, so I want to focus on the numericals because the previous class, so we learned about free fall. So remember whatever important terms have underlined in red color. Okay, so carefully see. Gravity is nothing but the gravitational force of Earth. Okay, so whenever object is falling to the Earth, towards the Earth, and the only force acting on it is the gravitational force, we call that as the free fall. When the object is freely falling, that's called free fall. And the only force acting on it is the gravitational force. Because of gravitational force, it is falling down. So call that as the free fall. Simple. So while it is falling down, it gets accelerated, and that is represented by small letter g. okay, small letter g, lowercase g, which is considered as acceleration due to gravity. So unit is meter per second square. Okay, so we did one small case study about the objects falling in normal case as well as in vacuum chamber. So we came to a conclusion that all the objects will reach the ground together, okay, in vacuum chamber, but in the normal case, because of air resistance, okay, you see here carefully, because of air resistance, you always notice that the heavy object will reach the ground first, okay, and the lightweight object will reach ground later because of air resistance. So this small letter g, we did derivation of that and we got our answer. G is equal to capital G into mass of the earth divided by radius of the earth whole square. Okay, so we found the value of G. Today we will do some numericals. Okay, so we'll do some numericals because it's important that you know how to solve numericals, because gravitation numericals definitely you should expect. Okay, so I will do this one small theory part, okay, and then we'll go for the numericals. Okay, so here please note. Okay, so I'll write few points first and then we can go for numericals about G itself. So I'll just close this. So over here, so you need to understand that we take value of G as 9.8 meter per second square by default. Okay, by default, it is fixed as 9.8 meter per second square. Okay, so which I am writing here. So G is considered to be 9.8 meter per second square on the surface of Earth. On the surface of Earth. But this number is not exactly the same everywhere. Okay, so in the exam, they will ask this small exception. So I'll write here a special case. Okay, special case. So what is the special case? Okay, the special case I'm writing here, but the value of G, the value of G slightly varies, not too much, little bit, okay, slightly varies. Okay, so how does it vary? So I will write here equator. Okay, so at equator, the value of G is slightly different from the value of G at the poles. Okay, the reason also I'll mention the reason also. Okay, the value of G at equator is slightly less. Okay, is slightly less than 9.8. Okay, similarly, the value of G is slightly more at poles. Okay, slightly more at poles. Why? So why did this happen? So I'll write the reason. Because the earth is not having a perfect radius, because it is not a perfect sphere. Okay, there's a slight difference. Okay, the earth is not a perfect sphere. So I will draw the diagram and show you so that you understand. So if I consider this as the earth, okay, if I consider this as the earth, and here when I take this as the your circumference, okay, so whatever circumference, okay, so at the equator, okay, so I'll just do one thing. I'll take so this is my radius. Okay, so this is my radius, equator. So similarly, I'll do one more diagram. and I'll show. Okay, this is, consider this as to be my circumference. Okay, across the poles. Okay, so I'll do here same way like this. Okay, the radius. So this is at poles. So it so happens that the exact measurement, so I'll write the figure, the exact measurement. Okay, so when you consider at the equator, okay, right here, radius at equator is so somewhat around 6378 kilometer. Okay, so look at the number. Okay, so radius at equator is roughly around 6378 kilometer, but the same radius, okay, when we look at the poles, I'll write here. So radius at poles is 6357 kilometer. Okay, so it is having a different value. So what do? We take average, and we take radius of earth is taken as 6400 kilometer as for our calculations, roughly. Okay, so roughly we take this as our calculations. 6.4 into 10 raised to power 6 meter. Okay, so this is what we consider for our calculation. Okay, but you can clearly see that the radius is different. Okay, the radius is different. Okay, the radius is different because we cannot just consider only the equator or only the poles. Okay, so we need to have an overall distribution, okay, which should give us a proper answer. Okay, so we are not doing any research as such. Okay, this is just for our understanding purpose as well as for solving. So we usually take it as the whole number 6400 kilometer, the proper complete figure. Okay, so instead of having random numbers, because it will cause difficulties in calculation. If we are doing some research, okay, so then you take the precise value. Okay, you take the absolutely the precise value, the accurate value will take. For our 9th, 10th and 11th, 12th and all, there's nothing we are doing, no research, nothing. It won't affect anything. So hence we take just overall a figure, a easy figure, that is 6400 kilometer. Okay, so just for our convenient. Okay, so just for our convenient, for calculation or numericals, not for research. Research, they take the value which will give them the perfect answer. Okay, so since we already know that my G is dependent on R, so what is going to happen here is that, so G is inversely proportional to our radius. Okay, so at equator, so what is happening, you can clearly see the number. The radius at the equator is more, around 20 kilometers, 21 kilometers. Okay, 21 kilometers is a big number. The radius is more, hence the value of G is less. So right here, at equator, the value of G is slightly less. That's all. Just remember, the value of G is less at the equator. That's all. Okay. Similarly, okay, so here please understand, R means radius of the earth. Okay, so similarly, at poles, what is happening? Radius is less, so hence the acceleration due to gravity is little more. Okay, so we write here at pole, the value of G is slightly more. That's all. Okay, is slightly more. So that's only this much you remember. Okay, so all I want you to understand is what I have written over here in this red color cloud, that much only. Okay, so they will ask why the value of G is changing. So you just have to tell that it's all because of the earth. Earth is not a perfect sphere. It doesn't have a fixed radius. Okay, the radius of the earth at equator is more. Hence the value of G is less. At the pole, the value of G is slightly more. Okay, at the pole, the value of G is slightly more. So how do I remember this? So you carefully notice here. I will tell you one small trick. Okay. So this is your E. And here also you have E. So less equator. That's all. Okay. The value of G is less. Okay. At the equator. In the more also you have E. But in the more, E is towards the end. E comes first in less and E comes first in equator. So at equator, value of G is less. Do not get confused. Do not get confused. 1 mark question or 2 mark question, that's all. Okay, at equator, the value of G is less. Simple. Opposite of that is for poles. At poles, the value of G is slightly more. Okay, this is simple way for you to remember. Okay, if you cannot remember things, then you can have some codes which will help you to remember. So like this, I use some little bit stupid code which will make me remember things. Okay, so anyways, so this was one special case about G. Okay, so now as I said, we should dive into numericals. Okay, so before solving numericals, so a quick video about G, acceleration due to gravity. I just want to ask you one question. What do you mean by gravity? You see the topic name, acceleration due to gravity. What is gravity? Okay, so you can tell me the answer in the chat. Okay, so what is gravity? I want you to tell the definition of gravity. So today in the beginning of the class also, I was doing a quick revision. I had underlined one word in red color. Okay, and I told you should know all the terms. Okay, so I'm asking the definition of gravity. Okay, so what is gravity? If you do not remember, then please remember, gravity is the gravitational force of Earth. That's all. Gravitational force of Earth, we call it as gravity. Okay, so where is this? So this is here in the beginning of the class. You see, I have underlined. Okay, simple terms. Gravity is not free fall. So please understand, free fall is different. So free fall, I have written in the next statement. Okay, if you want, I'll underline the free fall also. So please do not get confused. Do not misunderstand the definition. Simple things you should know. Then only you'll understand the big things. Okay, so gravitational force of Earth is called as gravity. Okay, and G represents the acceleration due to gravity. You see here, G is acceleration due to gravity. Unit is meter per second square. So the numericals, what we will be doing is that based on your equations of motion. Okay, so based on your equations of motion, which you learned in your chapter called motion. So what are the 3 equations of motion? I will write here, V is equal to U plus AT. Okay, first equation. Second equation, S is equal to UT plus half AT square. What is the last equation? Okay, you can type and send it to me in the chat. What is the last equation? Okay, so very nice. Vinayak was quickest to answer. Okay, so first person to answer is Vinayak. Okay, so others. So what is the last equation? Okay, so next Sri Krishna answered. Okay, so Shaurya, then Sneha, and everyone. Okay, so it's okay, I understand it is difficult to find the square. Okay, so but you can just simply type and send it to me. Okay, so 2as is equal to v square minus u square. That's all. Okay, so this is our three equations of motion. So slightly we're going to modify this. Okay, slightly we're going to modify this, and we're going to include our g. We're going to include our g, that is acceleration due to gravity. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to have acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so whenever you're dealing with numericals based on acceleration due to gravity, so replace a, wherever you see acceleration, replace that by g, like this. V is equal to u plus gt. Okay, so I will write this in special color. So v is equal to u plus gt. Similarly, s is equal to ut plus half gt square. Okay, ut plus half gt square. And last, 2gs. Okay, so 2gs is equal to v square minus u square. That's all. Okay, so I will write here, replace a with g. That's all. Okay, so in your equations of motion, replace your acceleration with g, small letter g, which is acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so now let me see if you remember your equations of motion. We will solve one direct question from your textbook itself. Okay, so what is that question? I also don't know. We will open exercises and see the question directly from your textbook. Okay, so if you remember your concept of equations of motion, okay, so then you will definitely remember that as well. Okay, so I'm going to show you 9th standard textbook. Okay, so we'll solve the question based on G. Okay, acceleration due to gravity, numerical. Okay, so over here, so this question number 1313, okay, is what you should solve now. Okay, so question number 13. Okay, so see the question number 13. A ball is thrown vertically upwards with a velocity of 49 meter per second. Okay, calculate the maximum height it reaches. Okay, and next, the total time it takes to return to the surface of the earth, going and coming. Okay, so this is simple question, easy question, so you can quickly solve and tell me the answer. Okay, so let us see who will solve this question first. If you want, I can also help you. I will definitely help you. Question number 13. Okay, so consider this as your recap. Okay, so your recollection of your topic or equations of motion. Okay, so over here, if you cannot see the question, please open your textbook and see the question. So I am just using this for my reference. Okay, I will write the given question, okay, given data, and I will start solving. Okay, so in the given data, so they have mentioned about my initial velocity as 49 meter per second. That's all. Okay, the ball is thrown. That means 49 meter per second is my initial velocity. Okay, so next, what else they given? Nothing. Okay, they're asking us to find the maximum height as well as the time. We should find. Anything else we know? No, we do not know. We just know the value, that is G. We have to take it as 9.8 meter per second square. Okay, so because this is my question based on acceleration due to gravity type of questions, gravitation based question. Okay, so my G is 9.8 meter per second. Okay, so let us first start solving. So it is thrown upwards. So upward motion. Okay, so upward motion. So we know that. We know that at maximum height, remember all this, at maximum height, the final velocity is 0. Okay, final velocity is 0 at maximum height, because when you throw, it will attain the maximum height at a moment, a single moment. Okay, at a particular second it will stop, and next it will start falling down. At the maximum height, the final velocity is 0. Okay, the final velocity is 0 at the maximum height. So you have solved these questions already in the motion chapter. Okay, so I'm going to use that equations of motion. Okay, v square minus u square is equal to 2gs. Okay, so v square is of course 0 and u square 49 meter per second square, because that is what the velocity, initial velocity with which it was thrown. Okay, with which it was thrown. Okay, since this is an upward motion, so I will be taking the value of G as minus. Okay, right here, the value of G is minus 9.8 meter per second, as it is upward, motion. Why? Because you are going against the gravitational force, as it is in the opposite direction of gravity, because gravity acts in the downward direction. Okay, so gravity is all about falling down, but you are sending up, you are throwing up, so it should be definitely in the opposite direction. Okay, so you take value as minus 9.8, so which I am gonna multiply here, minus 9.8. Okay, what is this S? This is only what we need to find. Okay, this is only what we need to find. Okay, displacement, maximum displacement or maximum height. Okay, if you solve this, so you will get your answer. Okay, so this is 2 into minus 9.8 into yes. Okay, I just wrote the same thing again. So I'll just keep yes on one side, and remaining everything I'll bring it on the other side. Okay, so if you bring it on the other side, look what happens. Okay, I'm gonna do the simplification. 49 square divided by 2 into 9.8. Okay, so I will write here 49 square is 49 into 49. So this is 2 into 9.8 is equal to yes, or the maximum height. Okay, so you can see here, this is 1s are, this is 5s are. Okay, so minus minus will get cancelled. Okay, so 5 divided by 2 is 2.5 into 49 is equal to yes. Okay, so if you can quickly tell me what is 2.5 into 49, so that will be our answer. Okay, so that will be our answer. Okay, so very nice. Okay, so everybody is telling the answer. 122.5 meter is the maximum height. Okay, that's all. So simple, easy. You just have to use the correct equation. Okay, if you understood this question, you can click on the yes icon. I will again show. You see, first I wrote the data. I wrote the given data. Initial velocity is 49 meter per second. Okay, so since it is upward motion, so we are taking this g as minus 9.8. Okay, and the maximum height, final velocity is 0. Using these conditions, I applied my equation of motion over here. V square minus u square is equal to 2gs, and I solved. Okay, after solving, you will get the answer as 122.5. That's all. Okay, but the question is not yet over. They want us to find the time. They want us to find the time also. So for this, things become very simple. V is equal to u plus at. So we already know that the final velocity is 0. Initial velocity is 49. Okay, so this a have to write it as g. Okay, which is minus 9.8 into time. Okay, so if I do proper simplification, 49 will go on the other side. Okay, so 49 will go on the other side. Okay, and here minus 9.8 into t. So now t is equal to 49 divided by minus 49 divided by minus 9.8. So which we have just now seen that this is 5. Okay, 5 is equal to time. Okay, but remember, this is only the upward. This is only the upward. It will go up as well as it will come down. Okay, so I'll write here the total time taken is 5 seconds plus 5 seconds. Okay, so which is 10 seconds. Okay, so which is 10 seconds. Okay, so the total time is 10 seconds. So I'll just close this. So the total time taken is 10 seconds, because this 5 seconds is for upward. Okay, is for upward motion. If it is going upward, it has to come down. Okay, so and while coming down also, it will take 5 seconds. So up 5 seconds, down 5 seconds. So total time is 10 seconds. Okay, the total time taken is 10 seconds. Okay, so hence that is your answer. Okay, so hence that is your answer. Okay, so this is how you solve for the questions. Okay, so whenever you look at the question, so how will you know whether it is gravitation based question or your normal motion question? You need not worry. Okay, so whenever they give question, so they will mention. Okay, so they should have actually mentioned here. They should have actually mentioned here g is equal to 9.8 meter per second. Okay, so they will mention. You don't take tension. Okay, so you just use equations of motion. Okay, that is fine with little bit of modification. So they will tell everything, they will tell in the question itself. Okay, so you will get an idea. Once you have seen sufficient questions, once you practice, you will know. Okay, so data they will give. Okay, so this was your question number. Okay, so this was your question number 13. Okay, so simple, easy question. If you understood this question, you can click on the yes icon. Okay, question number 13. So please solve. Okay, so you please do not simply see and notice. You also quickly take a book, pen, pencil, and quickly solve the question. Okay, so now I will show you something interesting. So that is this. Okay, so very good. That was just about some facts as well as interesting thing about Leaning Tower of Pisa. So the reason why I showed you this is, so this tower, okay, so this tower has a very, very special recognition because most of the experiments, okay, so done by Galileo is connected to this Leaning Tower of Pisa. Okay, so he did majority of his experiments, okay, so in this Leaning Tower of Pisa with the help of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Okay, so hence, because of this, Galileo could understand a lot about gravity, could understand a lot about physics, okay, so which eventually was capitalized and made it into a proper theory by Sir Isaac Newton, okay, and that is the interesting thing you should be aware. If Newton did so many of things, that is because of the knowledge of so many people before him. Okay, he just combined everything and made it in a proper, organized, systematic way. So I must have already told you about this famous quote of Newton. So who remembers this quote of Newton? Okay, so I told you in the beginning when we are doing the chapter on force and laws of motion about the importance of Newton. If I am able to see, if I am able to see further, so it's all because of the giants. You see here, I'll show you. So wait, here only it is there. Okay, it's all because of the giants. Who are these giants? These giants are nothing but the previous scientists. Okay, so like Copernicus, Kepler, Galileo, and everyone. Okay, if I'm able to see further, it's because I've stood on the shoulders of giants. Okay, so very wonderful statement by Sir Isaac Newton. Okay, so with this, so we'll solve some more questions. Okay, so that you become perfect. So let us quickly solve a little bit. Okay, some more questions. So tomorrow I will do the topic of mass versus weight. Okay, so that is the last topic what we have. So which we'll do it tomorrow. Okay, so now, so I will just quickly run through few things. Okay, so let us start with question number 2. Very simple and easy. Okay, so gravitational force acts on all objects in proportion to their masses. Why then a heavy object does not fall faster than a light object? Why? Okay, so this is just based on your concept theory. If you know, you will be able to understand. Okay, so who can tell me the answer? So Sneha says we already did this. Oh, we have done. Very nice. Okay, so if you have already done this, then you should know the answer. Okay, so over here, you see, it's all because of your mass. Okay, the mass of the object is negligible. Okay, the mass of the object is negligible. Okay, and we have the acceleration due to gravity, so which is given by, okay, g-m-e by r-e square. Okay, so compared to mass of the earth, the mass of the object is negligible. I'll write here mass of object is small and negligible. Hence, all the objects are accelerated towards the earth with the same constant acceleration g. Okay, it is all accelerated towards earth with the same constant acceleration g. Okay, so please remember, you have to mention this g. Okay, so all of them are accelerated towards the earth with the same constant acceleration g. Why? Because the mass of the object is small and negligible compared to mass of earth. Okay, so hence all of them are attracted towards earth equally, and they have constant acceleration, that is acceleration due to gravity, represented by small letter g. Okay, so very nice. So first question. So did we do first question? First question done. So have we complete? Okay, first question also over, done. Then I'll put tick mark. Okay, so next we'll complete this third question then. Okay, so third question, simple, easy. Question number 3. Okay, question number 3. This is your previous to previous concept. Universal law of gravitation. Okay, question number 3. Okay, quickly. So let's just get it done. We will not keep any pending things. Okay, so what is the magnitude of the gravitational force between the earth and a 1 kg object on its surface? Okay, so they have already given data in the question. That is, mass of the earth is 6 into 10 raised to power 24, and the radius of the earth is 6.4 into 10 raised to power 6. That is 6,400 kilometer. Okay, so what is this? So let us quickly solve this question. Question number 3. Okay, so I will write here question number 3. Okay, so what is given? So they are given mass of the object is equal to 1 kg. Mass of the earth. So you should know this, 6 into 10 raised to power 24 kg. Okay, so next, radius of the earth, 6.4 into 10 raised to power 6 meters. Everything should be in SI unit. Okay, so what should you find? So you should find the gravitational force. So which we use the formula about our universal law of gravitation. Okay, so like this. So you substitute the values and you will get your answer. Okay, into mass of the object is 1, mass of the earth is 6 into 10 raised to power 24. So divided by radius of the earth. Okay, so very nice. So I just have to solve this. Okay, so if you solve this, you will get the answer. Okay, 6.67 into 6 is 40.02 into this is 10 raised to power minus 11 into 10 raised to power 24. So this 6.4 into 6.4, so 40.96, and this is 10 raised to power 6 into 10 raised to power 6. Okay, I will use laws of exponents and I'll bring everything on the top. I will bring everything on the top. Minus 11 plus 24, and this is minus 12. Okay, so why minus 12? Because both, if you bring in the numerator, okay, so it will become 10 raised to power minus 6. Okay, 10 raised to power minus 6. So this becomes 0.98 into 10 raised to power minus 11 plus 24. Okay, so minus 6 minus 6. So I'll write like this. Okay, so 0.98 into 10 raised to power minus 11 minus 12 minus 23 plus 24. So this is like this. What is the unit? Unit is Newton. Okay, what is the unit? Unit is Newton. Okay, so simple, easy question. You just have to know the formula. Okay, and do not make mistake in the simplification. So question number 3. So simple question. So substitute the formula, and your mathematics should be good. Okay, so your mathematics should be good in solving. If you do not know, then it will definitely be a problem for you. Okay, so please make sure you understand how to simplify. Okay, you just have to solve this green color equation, that's all. You use your type of mathematics and solve. Okay, numbers you multiply, you divide, and finally get the answer. The answer is 9.8 newtons. Okay, so that is the force. So what is this force? So if you read the question, you will see that this is the force between the earth and an object having 1 kg on its surface. Okay, the gravitational force between the earth and a 1 kg object is 9.8 newton. Okay, is 9.8 newton. Okay, so very nice. So these are some questions, okay, so which we solved. So there are many more questions, okay, so which will continue in tomorrow's class. Okay, so every day at least we'll solve 1 or 2 questions so that you have practice in numericals as well. Okay, so there are some more questions, so which we'll do in the upcoming classes. Okay, so now quickly on your screen, I will launch the game pin. So enter this game pin and join the quiz. So what is this? Okay, so this is quiz on G, acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so this is the game pin. You please enter this game pin and join the quiz. So on your screen now, you can see the game pin.
Deep cleaning is important in helping you create a healthy home. So before you buy your next vacuum, ask